It was 8 years ago when Chinese President Xi Jinping announced his flagship foreign policy project, the Belt and Road Initiative, or BRI. The BRI provides vital infrastructure funding to developing countries, but with a hidden cost. It also leaves many with unsustainable debt. Now, China is funding a high-speed rail line in Laos that will cost equal to the half of the country's GDP. Today, many countries are wary about China's intentions. But it seems China's plans are not that simple. Then what meets the eye? We hope to create a big family of harmonious existence. These are the exact words of Chinese President Xi Jinping. And there could not be a bigger irony. China has insisted that BRI is for peaceful purposes only. But is that the reality? US is convinced that China is forcing nations into decisions to gain territorial advantage. Interestingly, Chinese BRI projects are strategically located in important trade routes or give an upper military advantage. China's BRI projects are not just about lending money to nations, but something much, much more nefarious. China is the workshop of the world and the largest exporter of goods. Among the finished products exported from China are consumer electronics, data processing technologies, clothing, optical gear, and medical equipment. And to manufacture goods, raw materials are needed. Very conveniently, China's roads, railways, and airport projects are connected to haul out natural resources and minerals from unsuspecting partner countries. So, how has China got a stronghold on these resources? It is through a strange barter system that benefits China, forgiving loan amount in exchange of precious resources of the victim country. In the 1990s, during the discussions for the sales of the M9 and M11 missiles to Pakistan, China asked for a 20-year lease to the mineral-rich areas of Chagai in Balochistan. Now, China has also set its eyes on Venezuela, which has the largest oil reserves. In fact, when Venezuela could not pay those $50 billion in loans, China made an oil for loan deal. Now China has a new target, Afghanistan. Afghanistan is very rich in mineral deposits with a total worth of $1 trillion or more, including rare earth minerals. It supposedly has the world's largest reserves of lithium. This is important for China because China is focused on controlling the world's production of lithium-ion batteries. However, the Taliban does not have the expertise to mine lithium, and that is where China enters the picture. Beijing is ready to participate in Afghanistan's reconstruction and development. If things work out for China, we can soon see a similar barter system as in Pakistan and Venezuela. Taliban is also interested, recently wishing that China play a bigger role in future reconstruction and economic development. Similarly, China has long-term leases or are holding major stakes in these ports. Gwadar Port, Pakistan for 40 years, Darwin Port, Australia for 99 years, Hambantota Port, Sri Lanka 99 years, and the Dara Sakor project of Cambodia for 99 years. Now take another example of the base in Djibouti. It's actually described as logistic support facility, and who are stationed at this facility? Well, it's not a surprise to know that the station hosts China's anti-piracy task force and over 2,000 Chinese soldiers. The question we're asking is this, that if this is not enough evidence of China's relentless ambition to build a new world order, then what is?